So today I'm going to teach you how to make pasta. But not just any pasta, the most popular pasta there is, spaghetti and meat sauce. But better yet, I'm going to teach you how to do it from scratch for your whole family in under an hour. The ingredients are really quite simple. Everything you need is pretty straightforward. Obviously, you need a stovetop. You need an oven. You need a stock pot. This one's big enough to take care of about 4 people, which is what I have in mind. A pound of spaghetti or whatever pasta you like. Now you're going to break this spaghetti in half because you'll see, it just works better. We need ground beef. You need a pound. I like this very lean, 93% lean, but if you prefer 80%, that's fine. We need some Italian sausage. You can use sausage links and cut them open and take it out, but this was on sale, so why not? You need between a half a pound and a pound, depending on how spicy you want it. We need a medium-sized onion, a bell pepper, some salt and pepper, some beef bouillon. I like this better than bouillon stuff. Crushed red pepper flakes, basil and oregano, tomato paste, crushed tomatoes, minced garlic, and last but not least, and only if you want it a little chunkier, I've got some diced tomatoes. So the first thing I'm going to do is chop up the onion and the bell pepper. There's no reason you have to watch me do that, and I'll be right back. Okay, so we're going to get started. It's really a simple process. First and foremost, turn the oven on first. I'm going to turn my oven on to a whopping 425 degrees. Now, I have a convection oven, so if you have that, this goes a lot faster. If you don't, set it to 450, okay, because we're wanting to create this crust. In the meantime, I'm going to turn my front pot on here at about medium high, and let's adjust this a little bit so you can see. There we go. All right, so I've got the pound of ground beef and the pound of sausage. They're both going to go into the pan, and we're just going to let that start doing its thing. Meanwhile, now this is a personal preference. I like to saute off my onions and peppers rather than having them steamed. But most people prefer them steamed in the dish. So today I'm gonna steam them in the dish so you can see how it works. It's still good. I just like that roasted pepper flavor. Let this meat cook for a little bit, brown it, break it up as it browns. You want it in small pieces. You don't want giant lumps of beef in there. Our meat is about halfway cooked. In fact, if you look at it, you can see it's about halfway cooked. So at this point, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add my onions and peppers to it. I'm also going to add some salt and pepper. So I'm going to start with salt, just because it's a habit. And we're going to put in some pepper. And as far as how much am I using, well, it's really to taste. So there's no real answer that I can give you for that. I like salt and pepper, so it's going to have a little more salt and pepper than you might like. I'm going to adjust the angle here again so you can see the pot. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and I've chopped up the onion, and it's going to go in there. And I chopped up the bell pepper. I chopped it very fine. It's going to go in there. If you don't like bell pepper, you don't have to put any in, but if you don't use it, you're going to need carrots or sugar in this, and I don't want carrots or sugar in this particular sauce. So I'm going to roll these in a little bit. Now I need these onions to wilt without frying them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the cover on the pot and turn the heat down to about medium to medium high, and I'm going to let that cook for about 3 to 4 minutes. When I open this up, we got a whoosh of steam, right? All right, we are pretty much done with the lid. We're just going to set it to the side for the moment. Now I'm going to turn this all together and the onions are very well broken down. So now we're going to add tomato paste. You need about a tablespoon, and I like a little extra. The tomato paste will give it the depth that we're going after. We're going to mix that in. It's also going to give us that nice deep red color. Now, tomato paste has one real drawback. Now, this is unsalted tomato paste that I use, by the way. You can use salted. But one thing about tomato paste is it needs salt. Another thing about it is you can look at it and see if it needs a little more to get the depth of color that you want. I'm going to show you what this looks like once I get that mixed in there. Keep in mind, the only liquid that's in here at the moment is the grease that came off of the hamburger and the Italian sausage. So the tomato paste will help to absorb that, okay? Now what we're going to do is we're going to put the bouillon in here. Now this again is roasted beef better than bouillon. You can use whatever you want. The nice thing about this is it's a beef-based dish, so you're going to get the beef flavor from that as well. Again, about a tablespoon. Mix that in. And you're going to smell that really overpowering beef flavor, or aroma rather. It's so strong you can just about eat it. Okay? And that's going to change your color quite a bit. So at this point, we're now going to put in our garlic. And here again, about a teaspoon or so. And some red pepper flakes. Again, to taste. That's about a half a teaspoon. And then last but not least, your oregano and basil, which I keep mixed in a jar. And that's about a tablespoon. Turn that all in together. Now, this next step, if you used salted tomato paste, don't do this. If you used unsalted tomato paste, guess what we need? Okay. Now we're going to add my diced tomatoes. Again, if you don't want this chunky, don't put in the diced tomatoes. And the crushed tomatoes. We're going to do something really weird here that I never would tell you to do to sauce. I'm going to add water. So I'm going to go over here and get about almost a full can from my crushed tomatoes of water. And just push that in there. And then start to stir it together. And we're really just turning this at this point so it all blends into a sauce. All right, now here's where the fun happens. I told you this was one pot pasta. It's exactly what it is. The dry spaghetti is now going to go in to the pasta, into the pan. Okay. And we're going to stir this carefully, press it down into the sauce, and just kind of move it around a little bit. Bring your heat up and let this cook on the stovetop for about 6 to 8 minutes. So just in case you haven't figured it out by now, what I've done is I'm bringing the pot to a boil, covered, so the steam will actually start to cook the pasta. Rather than cooking it in just boiling water, it's going to have a much better consistency and truly be al dente and give you that more unique Italian style pasta experience. Yes, I'm drinking diet root beer. So we're almost there. It's been cooking now for about 4 minutes. And I'll take the top off just so you can see it's starting to boil. The noodles are starting to soften up a little bit. I'm going to give it about 3 or 4 more minutes just so the noodles break down slightly. Then we're going to go into the oven for about 20. All right, it's out of the oven. Time has expired. And let's bring the camera right here. So you can see this. You just want to stir it up a little bit, and you'll see that pasta is perfectly cooked. And you've got just a gorgeous spaghetti and meat sauce to serve your family. So grab a pair of tongs and just pull some out and set it in the dish, and it's going to look absolutely beautiful. I'll take a quick photo for you to show at the end. As always, like, share, subscribe. If you have something you'd like me to cook, this was by request, by the way. I'm happy to give it a shot. This is wonderful stuff. My kids loved it growing up, and I still love it today. So we'll see you real soon. Kansas Flamingo Chef, eat fabulous.